I honestly feel like Hollywood has enough scandals and secrets that have gone on under the table that we could probably do part 32 of the series. Someone is probably under some Emmys after party table right now doing coke on M Night Shyamalan's lap. I don't know. Probably.
But can we talk about the Emmys for a second though? Zendaya
I know!
I'm so happy. Like, the youngest woman to win Best Actress in a Drama Series, that's crazy. And as an actress, I feel inspired.
Euphoria was great.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
What?
It's because I don't know what channel is it on. You have to like buy it or not buy it.
I think I've just streamed it illegally. But it's so good.
I need to watch it. I know it's on my list, but also like I don't want to watch it and have my parents in the room, and because I hear that there's a lot of certain scenes.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And then my dad's gonna walk and be like, "What are you watching?"
Close your
eyes. It's Zendaya.
Close your eyes, Lindsay. Dad, please.
All right, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. No, we're gonna talk about the dark side of Hollywood, the side that celebrities and the film industry don't want you to know about.
What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm one of your hosts for this one, Eamon Hassan.
And I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today we're bringing you the top 10 scary Hollywood secrets, part 3.
And if you haven't seen the other parts of this video, what are you doing? Do you live under a rock? Go and check those out right now.
Starting off this countdown, we have the divas. Sometimes when you're rich and famous and used to getting pampered, it all goes to your head. You start off as someone who would do anything to get a role in a big film. But once you're already up there, you stop trying and maybe develop a bit of a diva attitude. Now, there are several celebrities that are known for being divas, and as a result, no one really wants to work with them anymore. They ruin their reputation. First off, we have Katherine Heigl. Apparently, she's one of the most hated actors in Hollywood. So for starters, on set she has complained about wardrobe issues, she has refused to get out of her trailer to film, and apparently she questions the script every single day on set. Then in 2008, she said she didn't want her Emmy nomination for her role in Grey's Anatomy because she felt like the writing on the show was bad. Another one that shocked me is Ben Stiller. Oh, I love him, but apparently he's whiny, demanding, and terrible to work with. And then Julia Roberts in the 90s movie Hook was also a diva, and the director, Steven Spielberg, even named her Tinkerbell. She played Tinkerbell, so Tinkerbell. It's funny. Good job, Steven.
Coming in at number 9 is discrimination. Now this one is no secret by any means. It's been given a lot of media attention in recent years, but that doesn't make it any less scary. Take this in. In the history of the Academy Awards, only one woman has ever won for directing, and that was Kathryn Bigelow for The Hurt Locker back in 2008. Still, that happened over 12 years ago. Surely we've progressed forward as a society and industry that we aren't still that sexist. And sexism and gender equality isn't the only form of discrimination the industry has. There's also huge discrimination against people of color. Only one African American in the history of the Academy Awards has won an award, and that was Jordan Peele for Get Out. That award alone has only ever nominated 5 women and 5 African Americans. It's shocking. And it's good to note that I hope people realize that including black nominees doesn't necessarily mean they've solved diversity. What about South Asian nominees, East Asian, Latin? I could go on. Back in 2016, 96% of decision makers in Hollywood were white and 87% of them were male. Forget winning awards, even roles in movies lack so much diversity. The majority of roles and lines are given to white people and mostly just men. In 2016, only 31.4% of speaking characters were women. This is such a problem in the industry, and I don't think people realize how serious it truly is.
Moving on to number 8, we have Elijah Wood. Several years before the Me Too movement exposed big Hollywood names, Elijah Wood actually came out and addressed Hollywood's predatory problems, especially towards young stars. He exposed specifics of Harvey Weinstein and other big Hollywood stars. He also said that as a child he was never allowed to go to Hollywood parties because people of power would take advantage of the young stars there. He said, and I quote, "If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world and you want to succeed. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey. What upsets me about these situations is that the victims can't speak as loudly as the people in power." But no one listened to him. He tried to expose them and stop these disgusting things from happening. Instead, he got boycotted by major studios because of this. Like, hello, he tried to warn everyone and make a change, and he got in trouble for it? It wasn't until years later that Weinstein and everyone else got exposed and cancelled.
Filling at number 7 slot is CHARLIZE THERON, who has the same birthday as me, so I just love her, and yes, I found that out when I googled celebrities with the same birthday as me when I was like 12. Now this South African beauty is known for her versatile acting with roles in movies like Monster, Hancock, Mad Max, Fury Road, and more. But her backstory in early life is a lot darker than people know. She grew up near Johannesburg with her mum Gerda and her dad Charles. Her childhood was rough because her dad was a huge alcoholic and would threaten Gerda and CHARLIZE whenever he was under the influence. Charles wouldn't hurt her, but he would physically attack her mum. One night in June of 1991, he got angry and fired shots at both of them. During that altercation, Gerda ran and grabbed her own handgun that she had kept hidden in case of an incident like this and shot back at him. Her shots killed him while CHARLIZE watched it all happen at the tender age of 16. Thankfully, it was looked at as self-defense and Gerda never faced any charges. This one was kept so under wraps and it was done so well. I've seen so many of her interviews and movies and never once have I heard about this.
Making our way down the list, number 6, we have the publicity stunts. I mean, there's no shocker here. If you want to get the public's attention back on you, all you gotta do is something extravagant. Maybe dye your hair, get the paparazzi to take an embarrassing photo of you, or in this case, date and break up with another big star. Stars do this all the time. They will get together just to promote their new movie or show or song together and then break up at a time that's convenient for them. This attracts a lot of attention and the movies or shows or whatever fare way better. For example, people think Kim Kardashian's marriage with Chris Humphries was just all a sham. Or Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. I didn't even know they dated. That for sure was a publicity stunt. No offense, but how does Jen go from Brad Pitt to Vince Vaughn? Doesn't make sense. Another example would be how Anna Faris and Chris Pratt broke up just a month before her book launched. Impeccable timing. Now, what's scary is how half the time these celebs have no say in this. They're forced into doing whatever their managers think is best for them, even if that means dating someone they have no interest in. They literally get stripped from their own free will.
Coming in at number 5 are child stars. Honestly, this is sad because there's only a handful of child actors that didn't burn out or just have their career die the second they stop being cute. Having that much attention on you, that much responsibility and fame at such a young age really messes up your psyche. Child actor Martha Plimpton made her film debut at 11 years old and said when children's lives become all about external validation, that can set them up horribly. Because what's adorable when you're 12 isn't when you're 25, which is very accurate. She went on to say when you stop getting calls about roles and auditions, you start thinking how you can replicate that high, and so you do everything you can to stay in the spotlight. That may explain child star Amanda Bynes' behavior over the past few years, Lindsay Lohan's, Justin Bieber, even Miley Cyrus when she went through that whole phase. If anything, the only unproblematic child stars I can think of are the Sprouse twins or the Olsen twins. I mean, yes, they're a bit coked up and all, but other than that, they seem fine. What is it with twins and being fine? It makes sense that these stars try to get attention any way they can. Child stars are exploited as soon as you put them in the spotlight, whether they're being treated well or not. A brain that young just isn't able to cope with that much attention, and it shouldn't be. So I feel like child stars should definitely just not be a thing. Stop it, you greedy parents.
In our 4th spot, we have the murderers. Some of your favorite Hollywood stars might just be cold-blooded killers, which is spooky when you think about it. Here are some famous actors that have sadly taken the lives of others. First off, we have Matthew Broderick. On August 5th, 1987, Broderick crossed into the wrong lane and collided head-on with another car. The 2 women inside the other car were killed instantly. In 2015, Caitlyn Jenner rear-ended a car, which got sent into oncoming traffic. The driver was struck by another car and died. Then we have Phil Lewis, or as we all know him, Mr. Mosby from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Well, before his role, he struck a car while drunk driving and killed the other driver. He was convicted of manslaughter and driving under the influence and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Who would have known? But I'm sure all these actors feel super guilty for taking someone's life.
Filling at number 3 slot are writers. It's always actors and directors getting the credit for everything, and yes, admittedly they play a massive role in all of it, but there would be nothing to direct or bring to life without the writers. Writers in the industry have been undervalued and underpaid for decades. It's so bad that since 1960, the Writers Guild of America has walked off the job 6 times just to get studios to renegotiate writers' pay, but they claim a film hasn't made any money when it has. That's what Paramount did with the 1988 1998 film Coming to America, which made $288 million at the box office. Studios do this so they don't have to pay their writers net profit, so the writer of that film, Art Buchwald, sued Paramount and won. He got $900,000 in settlements. Mel Gibson, who directed The Passion of the Christ, withheld $75,000 from screenwriter Benedict Fitzgerald unless he was credited as co-writer. I could go on, but the point is that there are way too many people in the industry that don't get treated right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Coming in at number 2, we have Natalie Wood. On November 29th, 1981, 43-year-old actress Natalie Wood was found dead floating face down in the Pacific Ocean. She was wearing just her nightgown and socks. So a couple days prior, Natalie, her husband Robert Wagner, Christopher Walken, and yacht captain Dennis Davern headed out on a yacht. Little did she know that she would not return home. The thing is, no one knows what really happened to her. Some say she slipped off the deck and fell into the water, while others are convinced that Wagner or Walken have something to do with it, or they at least know what happened. One theory is that Natalie and Christopher were having an affair. Wagner found out about it, got mad, and pushed her off the yacht. Wagner seems to be the prime suspect, but many people think that Walken knows exactly what happened. I mean, he barely even talked about the case, and on the rare occasion that he did, he would call it an accident. And he was absent from the documentary about her. I mean, he was on the boat. He should have been interviewed for the documentary. I don't know, I'm getting the vibe that he knows what happened and feels guilty about it.
And finally, at number 1 is Scotty Bowers. Now, this infamous gay US Marine worked as a Hollywood pimp from the 40s to the 80s, and apparently this man would set up all the Hollywood stars with whoever they wanted. Being heterosexual was all you could be back then in the public eye, but Scotty would let the actors choose whichever sex they wanted to be with, and apparently had a menage a trois with Lana Turner and Ava Gardner. Scotty was working as a gas station attendant at a gas station close to all the Hollywood studio lots back in the day. He got his start sleeping with actor Walter Pidgeon, who then spread word about him and the money started rolling in. Scotty then expanded it to a trailer with beds and glory holes and so on, and he apparently set up Katharine Hepburn with 150 gorgeous brunette women. Studios and agents pressured all their talent to be straight, that what other outlet did they have? Rock Hudson was literally forced to marry his lesbian secretary Phyllis Gates. Apparently Bauer slept with so many stars but had never seen any of their movies. He even had his own wife Betty and a daughter, but was so busy in the brothel he would only sleep at home a few times a year. Eventually the petrol pump slash brothel became way too well known, which meant a police raid could have occurred and people could have been arrested. A documentary about him came out in 2017, and Dylan McDermott even portrayed him in the 2020 miniseries Hollywood. Now that's something I gotta see.
And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. We'll be shouting out comments from our video, Top 10 Scary Hollywood Secrets Part 2.
So the first one is from Debbie T, who says, Eamon, I think you're one hell of a woman. You're both strong and intelligent and soft and feminine. Yes, equality. Yes, woman. Oh, thanks, Debbie. I love it. Thank you that I tried to portray that, you know.
Didn't say anything about me, but that's okay. That's okay, Debbie. That's okay.
She loves you too. This one's from Dave Garza 1, who says, Eamon's gorgeous and I've snorted my ex-wife.
Wow.
Because you remember in part 1, one of them snorted their dad is cooking? What do you mean by that? And I don't feel like you should admit that online. I don't want to know this. I don't want to be accessory to your crime.
I know, just from being like, oh, Eamon, you're gorgeous. By the way, this is what I've done. It's a little fun fact.
Thank you, but no.
No, thank you. Warrior OG commented, I'm the only one, or have anyone realized that there's a lot more collabs with the most stylish host? So which one are you talking about here?
Who are you talking about?
Which one's the stylish one?
No, you can't be judging me today, I'm wearing sweatpants!
That's so true.
Guys! It's fine, whatever.
We're just playing. Alan Heartbreak commented, dude, I went to the Grammys in 2016 as a seat filler after performing at a pre-show award show party, and some of the stuff I seen. So he's seen some stuff. You gotta spill the tea.
Yeah, I wanna know what you've seen.
Yeah, I wanna know what went down there.
As a seat filler, I wouldn't even watch the show. I'd be like,
no, I'd just be like, what's going on? Who's, where's Taylor Swift? What's she doing? Seriously. And that's all the comments we're shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in our next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan.
And I've been your other host, Eamon Hassan.
And I'll see ya when I say ya.
Bye!
But that's not what we're here to talk about today. No, we're gonna talk about the dark side of holiday. Nice. It's me, yeah.
Oh.
Get out of here.
I don't know. I'm shocked at that. Truly. I thought Katherine Heigl was like, my friend.
How can you diss the show that like, I don't even know. How can you dish, I'm not even gonna, okay, anyway.
And sexism and gender equality isn't the only form of discrimination. And sexism and gender equality isn't the only form of discrimination.
I have the same birthday as Taylor Swift.
See, everyone Googles it. Everyone does it.
No offense, but how does Jen go from bad oh my god. No offense, but how does John and Brad Pitt, nice.
Only 30% of characters were women in speaking?
31.
Only 31?
0.4.
0.4?